Welcome into the Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway. We want to thank all our fine sponsors and Murphy Fair. Got a little snow, not as much as everybody was thinking, but good to be out and about.
I was disappointed, but we had a lot of snowmen in yards all across the county, so I guess it was enough to take care of that anyway.
Of course, a lot of people, Murphy moved their games from Friday to Thursday, and then they were able to play Tuesday night's game. So only the people that had Saturday games, which Smith County had with Clark Range, had to be rescheduled.
We didn't get to do that. We had our football banquet on Thursday night, and half of the basketball team played football and was at that banquet, so they couldn't very well do that.
Got you. Let's go ahead and look at our game of the week. It's Smith County at Watertown, and Watertown girls get a big three-pointer from Molly Followwheel with about 17.6 seconds to go. Smith County was down 36-30, come back and went on a 7-0 run to go up 37-36. They missed 2 free throws that would extended the lead, and then Followwheel, the sophomore point guard, hits a big three, puts them up. She was probably 4 or 5 feet behind the arc on the left wing.
Wow.
And then Smith County has 2 free throws with 4.9 to go to tie it. They missed both. Lady Owls wound up missing 11 free throws for the game, wound up shooting 11 of 45, 24% from the field. One of their worst shooting performances of the year. But I've been talking about this Watertown girls team, and Coach Brenna Price and her husband Seth got a huge win over the Lady Owls, 39-37. Smith County got the rebound, offensive rebound, after that second missed free throw, but Emery Jones' shot was deflected, and Watertown got the win.
For those viewers that are listening and watching right now, Smith County and Watertown are in the same district, isn't that right? So that's a huge district win for Watertown.
Definitely is. And Coach Price, I've been sounding the foghorn for them all year. They lost to York, got down 13 after the first quarter last Thursday night, wound up cutting it to maybe 4 or 5, but wound up dropping it to York. And there is rumor that the franchise for York, Miss Basketball, possibly will return. Of course, she's been out all year in Reese Beatty, and if she gets back, it may be curtains on anybody trying to win the regular season championship for York. Looking at the boys' game, Smith County boys plays well. We'll be talking to Kevon Honeycutt, the Watertown coach, a little bit later. Cooper Williams, 21 points. He had a dink and a dunk. And Gates Gibbs with 15, including 2 threes. Logan Hackett, senior, the only senior on Watertown Purple Tigers team. He has 10, but Murphy, it was Smith County's on-ball defense. They went man-to-man and really pressured Watertown. I know at halftime, Watertown had 11 shot attempts, and I had them with 11 turnovers. So the Owls' defense was a big key in that.
Big part of the win for a lot of teams, and an unfortunate loss if you're on the other side of the ledger in that particular department.
Let's go ahead and look at the Gordonsville girls. They get a big win over Red Boiling in the district. At home, 51-40 over Tara Pryor's Lady Bulldog squad. Of course, that's the teams that last couple of years have played in that 4 versus 5 seed in the tournament. Of course, Gordonsville hoping to get maybe second or third this year, which would put them automatically in the semifinals and automatically in the region tournament. They go to Byrdstown and lose 78-53. Of course, Pickett County, the defending Class A state champ, they're sitting there at 13-3. Of course, one of those losses was at home to Smith County, but Pickett County in the Tennessee Sports Writer Association poll in Class A, they're ranked number 1 with Wayne County 2, Moore County 3. But Murphy, when you look, Pickett, always a tough place to go play.
It is. They don't have all those monuments out in front of the high school with 4 or 5 state championships in a row.
They had 4 in a row, and they probably got 5 or 6 because they won one under. They had 4 in a row. They had Barry Smith in the late 80s where they barely finished above 500 for the year. They won the state championship, and then last year they won the state championship as well under Barry's brother Brent Smith, who's still the head coach. So
they can very well call that the girls basketball 1A state championship city.
Right, that's for sure.
Birdstown for sure.
Gordonsville boys, they beat Red Boiling. Talked to Coach McKinney after the game for Red Boiling. Very disappointed in his Bulldogs' effort as Gordonsville wins at 72-17. And then Pickett kind of took Gordonsville behind the woodshed last night, 58-39, in what a lot of people think are the best two teams in that district. But, last year Gordonsville lost to them in the regular season twice. They lost to them in the district tournament, and then they got in the region tournament championship at East Robertson and Cross Plains and knocked them off. Then Gordonsville got that home sub-state game where they won, and Gordonsville wound up going to the state semifinals. Pickett County boys, after losing that game, they had to go to Chattanooga and play prep, and they lost that game to the eventual state champion. Looking at the Cannon County girls scoreboard, they were supposed to play Friday night. They rescheduled that to Tuesday, January the 21st. Of course, that is a district game. And then Cannon beats Community 62-44. Abby Alexander's really been picking her game up, Murphy, for the Lionettes.
Ever since the Teeter girl went down with that terrible injury to her knee, the Alexander girl, Abby, has done incredible. Last night she had 22. The two previous games, 18 points and 19 points. She's really stepped up her game. I take credit for that because I talked to her before all three games and told her how good she was. She just needed to have a little more confidence in herself, and obviously I had nothing to do with her efforts, but she is really coming around and becoming the player I thought she was all year long.
Cannon County boys, Jared Nave will be talking to him a little bit later in the show and looking at the Cannon boys scores. Of course, they reschedule the Forest game, and then they get a big win over Community, the Vikings, 82-52.
Yeah, that was our biggest scoring effort of the season, 82 points last night. And the Alexander boy, who is a freshman, the younger brother, Miles, of Abby Alexander, the senior girl that I just referenced, he had his best game of the year, 33 points. Had one three-pointer that the defender was right in his face. Miles was 5 or 6 feet off the arc and still hit it off the glass.
Right.
And was fouled, obviously, in one of those few 4-point plays that you don't see very often.
Go ahead and look at the DeKalb girls. White County beats them 67-22 and Cumberland County 62-21. Right now, the Lady Tigers really having trouble scoring. DeKalb boys, a couple of games that they were hoping to get W's in. White County has been struggling, but White County gets the win 57-46. And then Cumberland County boys 45-40. And I know Joey Agee is hoping that they can flip the script later in the year when they play them a second time.
With White County and Warren County in that particular district, that's a pretty tough district they compete in.
Well,
sure.
Warren is not in their district.
That's
White
right,
County's in there with Cumberland and DeKalb, Livingston, Upperman. Of course, Upperman boys have an excellent team and an excellent player as well.
Sure.
Smith County girls, of course, a disappointing loss to Watertown, but they did beat Monterey at Monterey on Thursday night, 70-27. Their game on Saturday with Clark Range has been rescheduled till Monday, January the 27th. Smith County boys, a couple of road wins for them inside the district. They beat Monterey 68-41, and then they beat Watertown last night 58-28. Next week they've got Jackson County and York at home after being off on Friday night, so that'll let us know. Of course, the Owls are hoping to finish no worse than second in that regular season race. Looks like Jackson County, the cream of the crop on the boys' side, with maybe Smith right now, at least through these first two scores, hoping that they'll be in that second position. Looking at the Watertown girls, they lost a close one to York, 48-39, got down 18-5 after one quarter. Then they get the big win over the Lady Owls, 39-37. Lady Owls have 3 or 4 players that have been out with the flu and tried to return. It was a warm gymnasium, and a lot of red faces on Smith County's side, not making excuses for Matt Farrell's team. because you got to play, but you got to give Brenna Price and her Purple Tigerette team a lot of credit. Kevon Honeycutt, who we visit with just a little bit later, his team gets a big win over York, 40-37, and then doesn't play well in their 58-28 loss to the Owls on Tuesday night. We'll speak with the Watertown boys basketball head coach Kevon Honeycutt when we return to the Box Score, sponsored by Carthage Safeway.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
DTC delivers the internet you need with customer service that is second to none. We're your friends and neighbors, working non-stop to make everyday life even better.
It's time to go fight switch. Join Team DTC and choose faster internet for game day wins. Get 2 months of free service when you sign up for DTC Internet.
We're standing by, ready to help you take the next step. DTC, making a difference where it matters most.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old barred trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
And welcome into the Box Score. Terry Collins along with Murphy Ferrick. Justin Malden's always doing a great job for us. And Coach Honeycutt, I've got to put a smile on your face. I know you're disappointed with your team's performance against Smith County last night. You had the cutest little girl at the ball game last night.
Yeah, you can. I'm not going to take any credit for that. All the credit goes to my wife.
Coach, last night you played Smith County at your place. Smith County plays one of its better games of the year. They shoot 65% from the field. Overall, you know, they make 7 out of 14 threes. I know we were expecting, and I know you were, for that to be a more competitive game, but it seems like Smith County put together one of their better performances of the season.
Yeah, I knew they shot it well. I haven't got the stats back yet from our huddle. When we all knew they shot it well. It seemed like every time that they shot something, it was going in. You just had to hurry up and get that clock to strike zero. They caused a lot of mismatch problems for us. Athletically, physicality-wise. I think we kind of got rattled there, and our guys the game was getting so fast to them that they weren't able to think fast enough or move fast enough. That's credit to Smith County, though. I mean, those kids, they're young, they're going to be good. I think we played about as bad as we possibly could have, and I think Smith County played as good, if not better than they've played all year. So,
Coach, I know exactly what you're talking about. We had to, by the way, this is Murphy Fair, who does Cannon County's games on the radio, and when we played at our place, we won both ball games. When we played in Carthage, it was kind of like what you described Tuesday night of this week. It was we couldn't do anything right, and they couldn't do anything wrong, and they won both of the games in that situation. But that just goes to show you how crazy high school basketball can be. You always got to be prepared for one of those nights because they're going to be out there regardless of how good or bad you might be.
Yeah, I mean, we're young, but when I say we're young, we're playing guys that never even got to play in middle school. So we're a lot younger than what we actually are, when you really think about it. But, again, you can sit here and make excuses all you want, but at the end of the day, you got to show up ready to compete. And, I feel like we didn't show up. Smith County showed up, and they put one to our chin. And, hats off to them for how well they played.
Coach, you're coming off a big win over York at home last Thursday night by 3. I know that, going into the game, each district home game very important because you only have 8 of those, not home games, but 8 district games overall, and 4 of those at home. And you'd already got one against York, and I know you were hoping to build on that momentum.
Yeah, I think it's, our guys, the fact that we beat York at home, I don't think we beat York in a while. So that was a big win for us. But what we do is we kind of tell our guys, like, the most important game is the next game. Don't dwell on the one that you just played, whether it's a win or a loss. Let's move forward and prepare for what's to come. We played okay. We played good enough to win against York. I thought we could have played better. But, you're not wrong. Every district game that you play is important, especially the ones that are at home. Come on, Ryan. You got to win the ones that are at home because it's hard to win on the road, And I think most coaches would agree with me that, if you slip up and lose a couple at home, it's going to be, you're going to struggle just to compete on the road, let alone even make a run in the district. So.
Coach, one of the things that has hampered a lot of schools around here is the snow, the weather, the ice, however you want to look at it. How many games have you had to reschedule so far because of the weather?
That's the only game we've had to reschedule. Now, we didn't get a practice at all from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday was a light practice. And didn't really get a lot done. You know how it is when guys are off for a couple of days. You come in, it's a sluggish practice. You're struggling just to get up and down the floor. And that's not making an excuse, but everybody has to go through that. Our county's a little stricter when it comes to, practicing and stuff when the weather's bad. So, again, not had to cancel many. Just had to cancel that one. Hopefully we don't have to cancel many more. I know, from what I understand, we're expected to get more weather here soon, and I hope it doesn't put us in a pickle because if we had to play back-to-back games, we struggle. So hopefully in some way we can avoid that.
All right, Coach, I'm going to put you on the spot here. You had 3 assistant coaches in John Sanders, former Owl coach, Logan Vance, former assistant coach at the high school level at DeKalb, also the junior high coach at Smith County Middle, and then Coach Martin, who lives over in South Carthage. I know that it probably meant a little extra to them last night's game, and I'm sure that it had to be an assistant coach's fault that you didn't play as well as you did. Is that right?
Well, I'll just, all the history, anytime I've ever went back and played somebody that I've had to coach against before, it's never ended well for me. Those guys, they have a relationship with those players, and I can't blame them for wanting to see them, and because it's a lot bigger than winning and losing games, especially in my eyes. But I would if I had to blame somebody, yeah, we can do that. That's that'd be fine with me as long as I don't get to blame for it.
Coach, when you look at getting to play last night and the facility you have at Watertown, to me is second to none. And I know a lot of people do a lot of things behind the scenes to keep that thing clean. We appreciate the hospitality that every time that DTC or radio station shows up. We don't get that everywhere we go. And kudos to you and Eric Trusty, who's the athletic director, and Darren Brown, who's the principal there. And I know Coach Luttrell, who's now the director of schools. It's got to be just a star in somebody's crown that Watertown has facilities in basketball, football, tennis, softball, soccer, baseball that you do.
Well, we're just blessed. We're fortunate, and like I said, we try to take care of our stuff just because we know how fortunate we are. we've done some additions to the facilities. We're always trying to keep things tip-top shape because, we want people to, when they come here, we want them to brag on our facilities, and for the most part, everybody does that, man. And we're, like I said, blessed, fortunate. I know our kids enjoy it, our fans enjoy it, the community enjoys it, and, other teams enjoy it too. So we're just, like I said, very fortunate, very fortunate.
Coach, you mentioned your fans, and certainly that's an issue when you go to Smith County. It's an issue when you have to play in Woodbury for Cannon County high school games. What about your fan base? I know, for example, Watertown has got so many new people moving into the community. It's not like everybody that comes to the ball game was born and raised there. You've got a lot of other folks that are newbies, I guess you might say. But what's your home base like when it comes to Purple Tiger games in Watertown?
You have those Purple Tiger faithfuls, the guys that have always supported the programs, but you have a lot of families that are moving out, like the families that used to be here, 8-9 years ago. They're no longer here. They're moving to other places, and the gyms aren't as packed as what they used to be. But that also comes with winning. So they show up, the ones that are here. But the people that are moving in, having that community pride, you do see a sense of not entirely losing it, but it not being as high as what it used to be, and. But the people that are here, that are Watertown through and through, they're always here. I can name off a handful of people that are always here, regardless of how good or how bad we've been. So we're fortunate. We still try to keep it a community school. We try to make it mean something to the kids versus, having kids coming in left and right, and, from everywhere around the country. And we do. We've got a bunch of kids that are moving in. Our numbers are growing. Hopefully we can kind of keep that community school spirit. And not lose it as we continue to grow. Because me personally, I feel like that it means more when it means something to the community. Versus just a normal public school versus a community school. So hopefully we can kind of keep that thing where it's at, and kind of grow it. And keep people wanting to be in Watertown is what we want.
Well, I know Mr. Jennings, the mayor there in Watertown. He's been coming for years and years and years, and one of your biggest fans. And Coach, best of luck to you, and on that new baby as well. That's, I guess, about 5 days old or 6. So,
best of luck. A week old tomorrow.
Right. Well, Coach Kevon Honeycutt's been our guest with Watertown boys basketball, and we'll have a talk with the Smith County Elementary Tournament Director, Bobbie Storie, when we return here to the Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Why do our customers choose Homeland Community Bank? Because we're committed to providing top-quality financial services while focusing on those personal banking relationships that treat you like the friends and neighbors that you are. From checking and savings to loans of all types, including those focused on business, Homeland Community Bank is truly ready to meet your needs. Contact us today to make the switch to better banking. Homeland Community Bank. Banking by the people, for the people. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Regardless of where you call home, you can relax even more when you trust DTC Security to keep tabs on your home and your family's safety.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation. Play defense like a pro with DTC Security.
Don't wait until something happens. Contact DTC Security now and take the worry away at your home.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
And welcome back into the box score. Terry Collins along with Murphy Farrell. We've been joined by Bobbie Storie, former Smith County High Owls coach and now working at the central office and also the tournament director for the Smith County Elementary Tournament. Bobbie, appreciate you taking time to be with us. I know the weather has played a little havoc in your schedule.
Yes, thanks for having me. We tried, what we've done on the weather part is we've pretty much kept every Thursday, Saturday, which we try to do in January. Every January, we try to do Thursday, Saturday to run the 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th grade tournament. So what we've done, we've doubled up this coming Saturday and playing 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th first round games and second round games for 5th and 6th. And what we've done, we've added Monday, and that's the only change we've made to the schedule so far as days are concerned. And Smith County High School with Mr. Apple and Basile and the coaches over there are real aware of how important the tournament is and so forth, and they leave us pretty much every Thursday and Saturday open in January, and that's been the case for about the past, well, this is my third year doing it, so it's been the case the past 3 years since we've moved it to the high school. It's been a big success as far as attendance and people enjoying it and seating and just everything involved, dressing rooms. And the kids really love to play on the main floor there at the high school. They seldom ever get a chance to do that, so I think most of the kids really enjoy that.
It's kind of like high school kids getting to play a district or regional tournament at Tennessee Tech or something like that. In the state tournament, obviously, at MTSU. Not everybody gets a chance to play on those kind of floors and that kind of environment, so I can understand really well what you mean by those 5th and 6th graders playing something so much bigger than what they're accustomed to.
Yeah, and that was a good analogy too, as far as, like the high school used to play at Tennessee Tech, and like you said, Murfreesboro hosts the state tournament. So, yeah, and in most part, it's been a real success, and the kids really like it. And, we have announcers and, during the game, and obviously, their names called for the starters, and
it's big time basketball for those young kids, isn't it?
Yeah, we try to give them the best experience we possibly can.
Coach Storie, when you look, I think the thing that I love about it the most, and I've hollered for this for years, it's on a neutral court. And that's nothing against Smith County Middle or Gordonsville, who did a great job of hosting the tournament, but that's on their home floor. This floor, nobody gets to practice on it, nobody gets to play on it, and I think that makes it neutral to give the people at Defeated or Union Heights or Forks River that same opportunity to where that it's neutral. Now the floor is a lot larger, especially than those 3 gyms that I mentioned with Smith County Middle and Gordonsville playing on what I call regulation size floors versus those other 3 schools, which are a lot smaller. I'm sure that floor seems that it's twice as long, and nearly it is, than it is at Union Heights, Defeated, or Forks River.
Yeah, I completely agree. Not only is it a neutral floor and nobody gets to play or practice on it, it's also the 5 schools can concentrate with their administration, their coaches, their people at their school. They can just concentrate on the tournament because everything is ran through the high school, the concessions, the tickets, where in the past maybe Smith County Middle was played at Smith County Middle, but maybe Union Heights was the host school that year. They rotated that, so Union Heights had to come and do concessions, do tickets, do referees, do announcers, we have our own separate bookkeeper along with the other 2 teams. We have the main, bookkeeper and clock and things like that. So not only is it a neutral floor, but it took all of those responsibilities away from some of those schools who are really stretched sometimes in finding those people and talking with the principals, all the principals, they really enjoy it that way because it's almost like a relief. They can come and watch their kids, sit with their fans and cheer their team on, and rather than being worried about concession stand or tickets or, anything, cleaning up a mess or getting the floor ready or assigning dressing rooms, not having enough dressing rooms, that kind of thing. So I think everything, moving it to the neutral floor at Smith County High School, I think it just improved everything. And the crowd's been a big success. And Terry, and you guys know, the last couple of years for the finals has been unreal for the 7th, 8th grade, the crowd.
Definitely has. Of course, DTC will be covering the 7th and 8th grade on that 25th for that girls constellation, boys constellation, girls championship, boys championship. And Coach, when I've talked to people that I've seen at elementary tournament games that I haven't seen in several years, a lot of them say the only drawback that I have of having it at Smith County High School is there's not enough parking. But once we get in the gym, there's enough room for us to spread out. They have an excellent concession stand for them to go to. You've got seats on the floor. You've got seats up top. So, when you go, you're not going to be sitting elbow to elbow like you are at some of these smaller schools.
Correct. And, you could have 4 different teams in there in one night, 5 different teams maybe some nights. But so those fans don't have to sit with, opposing teams fans, which, they could sit in certain sections, like you said, with their own fans and cheer on their own team, and so they're not mingled in together where they would be at some of the, at Gordonsville or Smith County Middle, because there is enough room for, certain schools to set certain places, and, you got the floor seats and the upper seats. So I think that makes it good.
Don't have to bother sitting next to your biggest rival, do you?
No. And that's never a problem, but it's just a convenience of having it at Smith County High School that you have that you wouldn't have at other places.
Bobbie, you've probably seen more basketball games than I can count, having been a coach yourself, and now this tournament director thing. I'm kind of curious about how the high school varsity coaches maybe want to pick your brain, because you've seen all of these elementary school kids, boys and girls, and you got a pretty good idea who the up-and-coming players are going to be. Are you kind of recruiting central for the 2 high schools there in the county?
I do talk to the coaches, and Gordonsville's kind of a unique situation is because their high school coaches also coach their middle school teams.
Okay.
Where, Smith County is not that way, Forks River defeated Union Heights. The middle school all have different coaches. So, and some of the, they do talk to me a lot, but give them credit. They show up at a lot of the games too. I see them, I see the Smith County girls coach and boys coach at some of the games, and watching and being involved and things like that. So, yeah, they do talk to me, but they're also involved in their own way to get out and see the kids.
Coach, when you look at the showbiz part of it, and when I say that, it's a big thing for a kid that hasn't played on a big floor to play on the stage that they're playing in when they go to Bill Landers Gym in Carthage. And I think with y'all handling all the things you do and making that such a big deal, and it is a big deal for these kids, because some of them, it's the end of the rain. They won't get to play high school basketball, but maybe they get to play at one of these other schools, one of the 5 schools that are involved now, which used to have, 15 or 20 involved in the county tournament back years and years ago. And it was played outside, by the way, the county tournament was.
I've been thinking about that because I've had those same conversations of late back in the 30s.
But Coach, when you look at that, to make it as special as y'all have made it, kudos to you and your staff, and or you in particular, for making this such a big deal for those kids.
Well, I appreciate those comments, and everybody along the way, from the director all the way down, are in it for the kids. I mean, if you're not, then, you shouldn't be doing it. You want the kids to have their best experience. Like you said, it may be their last game.
Right.
And a lot of the people you talk about know the history of the tournament, the winners of the county tournament, and probably more than they do some of the high school tournaments and things and stuff. So, sometimes they follow through to the county, when their kids are not playing no more, it's just human nature not to follow the other team. So, yeah, it is. It really is. And it's just good that, we can get everybody involved.
Well, we'll be there for DTC TV. That'll be on January the 25th. And then, of course, we'll re-air that a little bit later. Bobbie, Storie, appreciate you visiting with us.
Yeah, we appreciate you all too, and you all talk about it being a big deal and stuff, but you all televising it and radio and things like that. I really appreciate y'all doing that too. So that really lets people see it or hear it or listen to it that normally couldn't come out, or maybe something is going on they can't make it. So I appreciate y'all doing that too.
Bobbie, you hit the nail on the head. These kids, it may be their last game, but it may be the first game where they've even been televised playing middle school basketball, and I think that's just a really great thing.
Yeah, and people really appreciate it too, what y'all do.
We've been visiting with Bobbie Storie, and we'll have an interview with Jared Nave of the Cannon County Boys when we return to the Box Score, presented to you by Carthage Safeway.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
If you're a commercial driver looking for a company to call home, Huff and Puff Trucking is the company for you. Our employees are professional and dedicated individuals that take pride in what they do. We offer an outstanding pay package with a dispatch structure that maximizes your home time. To learn more about a company that knows you by name and treats you like family, call us at 1-800-965-5033 or visit our website at huffpufftrucking.com.
DTC delivers the internet you need with customer service that is second to none. We're your friends and neighbors, working nonstop to make everyday life even better.
It's time to go fight switch. Join Team DTC and choose faster internet for game day wins. Get 2 months of free service when you sign up for DTC Internet.
We're standing by, ready to help you take the next step. DTC, making a difference where it matters most.
Why do our customers choose Homeland Community Bank? Because we're committed to providing top-quality financial services while focusing on those personal banking relationships that treat you like the friends and neighbors that you are. From checking and savings to loans of all types, including those focused on business, Homeland Community Bank is truly ready to meet your needs. Contact us today to make the switch to better banking. Homeland Community Bank. Banking by the people, for the people. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here with head coach of Cannon County Boys, Jared Nave, on the Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway. And Coach, a big district win for your team on Tuesday night.
We did. We moved the ball. We finally put together 4 quarters of us basketball, as I would say. We played fast. We played smart. We finally defended. We played together. And usually when you do that stuff, good things happen, and I was really proud of the team and their effort Tuesday night.
Had 3 kids in double figures, but that was easily the biggest score that we'd had all season long, with Alexander having 33 points in the ball game. He just couldn't miss. He had half of that in the first quarter alone. Sometimes those things just happen. You got any reason as to why everybody was shooting so well last night?
Well, again, I thought we moved the ball really well. I thought that was the best screening game we had. We screened bodies instead of screening a piece of wood. I thought our passes were really on point. And I know it seems like small things, but I think good screens open up a little bit more, good passes kind of boost the percentage. And then it's kind of a confidence thing. Once you see a couple go in, especially early, and, Miles saw a few go in early. I thought our guys did a pretty good job of, hey, here's the hot hand. Let's just keep feeding the hot hand until it runs out, and it's kind of been mix and match all year long. It seems like we always have somebody who just gets hot, and I think our guys do a pretty good job of really just finding a hot hand, making them pocket passes like I always talk about, right in the shooting pocket. And, again, I thought Tuesday night we finally put together 4 quarters. Now we just got to build on that going forward.
Coach, I'm glad you mentioned the assist. Terry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but we were on track. It looks to me from my venue that we're doing a whole lot more of looking for the open man. The assists have got to be breaking record books, and that was the case against Community. A lot of guys could have gone in for the close shot, but they saw somebody else wide open in the paint, and they took care of the pass that needed to be made.
Yeah, again, I don't care who's scoring the ball. To me, it's just all about taking quality looks. If you keep taking quality shots, even if you're missing, quality looks is always better than a forced shot. Because at least if it's a quality shot, they're not getting out in transition because you're taking it, you're making the defense scramble. And again, I thought Tuesday night we just really moved the ball, always like you said, just found the open guy, and very unselfish play. And again, when you do that, you saw the high assist number, and I actually haven't got the stats back on that yet, and I should get that in a minute. But the high total points, we scored 82, and again, that's just a tribute to our guys really just looking for the open guy, and I'm just proud of them.
Well, Coach, it rivals that game you scored 84 against Smith County when you was making 9 out of 11 threes there in the first half and was up 52-20 at half. Unfortunately, I got a bird's eye view of that, but when you look at your team, I think the one thing that makes you tough to guard is you have several players that can score the basketball. I know as a coach, you'd rather have 5 players averaging double figures than you had one maybe averaging 25 or 30 and then somebody else going 6 or 8, because if you have that, then if the 25 or 30 point scorer a night goes cold, then your offense is stagnant.
Absolutely. And again, I'm not opposed for a guy going off for 40. if you got the hot hand, go for it. But 100%, if you can just get a lot of guys, especially just make them a threat. Even if you're not scoring, look like a threat. Be ready to score when your number is called or the opportunity or advantage presents itself. And generally speaking, the more guys you get in double figures, man, you generally just win more. And at the end of the day, that's what we like. We like winning. And again, I just thought we shared the ball really well and have been the last few weeks in general. And I think as you saw, our point total has been pretty good, but it's really just because we've been moving the ball better, playing better on the defensive end. And really, again, it's just building off of what we're doing. We're trying to win, first off, trying to get this district title.
Jared, let me make sure I understand what you just said. If I act like a threat, you might put me in. Is that right? Is that the deal?
Just square up towards the basket, yes. And you may even get in as long as you play defense. I can find a minute for you.
Okay.
Well, Coach, you shoot to get hot and you shoot to stay hot. Isn't that most scores mentality?
That's a good line, actually. Yeah. If you're shooting and hitting them, man, and you got teammates and guys really start to really try to feed you, and when you got guys really just cheering you on, confidence really just, it breeds success. So once you got guys really just looking for you, cheering for you, and especially when shots are going in, and then guys are even starting to celebrate before the shot even goes in because they know it's going to go in. That's just a confidence thing, and when you got teammates that believe in you, man, your shooting percentage, it just seems to just keep going up and up. And really, guys get in the gym and work on themselves and work on your shots, but when you got teammates believing in you. I know there's no statistic to prove that, but I do think there's a massive benefit in shooting percentage when you got guys believing in it.
Jared, we've got our longest road trip coming up Friday when we've got to go up the mountain and visit Grundy County High School. I think for those who watch continuously what's going on in District 9 AA, I think Cannon County and Grundy County are the two teams that everybody thinks are going to finish 1-2. The first game we had, obviously, is history. What do you think about the game this week? What concerns you most about Grundy County Friday night?
Well, first off, driving up there, that's always a fun gym to play in. Seems like it's always on top of you, and they'll manage. But that's always the fun. That's always the challenge. As soon as you go up there, especially any road district game that you go to, there's always going to be challenges presented. They're very well coached. They got a really nice player. Got a lot of nice complementary pieces along with their really nice player. It's just going to be about taking care of business. As long as we execute, do what we're supposed to do, believe in one another, stay sound defensively, we'll always give ourselves a chance, and that's all you can ask for. I mean, you going up there, obviously they're really good, and I can always say, hey, we're going up there. Any road district game, we're not going up there saying, hey, we're the underdog. We're knocking on the door and we're ready to play. We're here, we are ready. So I think it's going to be a really fun, exciting game to watch, and I hope it's a packed gym, and maybe we can give fans a good showing.
Jared, we talked about it earlier. Sometimes in today's world in basketball, when a player gets hot, there are other players on the team that get jealous of that, and they don't look for that open guy. I think if your team is bought in to what you're preaching and what you're doing, then they feed off that and make it a positive instead of a negative.
Oh, 100%. It does happen. It does happen a lot, and it's just human nature. You're used to scoring or used to doing a certain amount of thing, and then you don't. Well, you just need to celebrate your teammate. And the more positive you are, and the more you're ingracious with your teammates, I just think it comes full circle. There may be a game where whoever, you're not scoring one night and you get hot. Well, you celebrated your teammates. They're going to want to get you the ball. And then it just happens that way. And I think when I look back, you just take Antonio Jones. He only had 3 or 4 points last night. But I thought he played an unbelievable game just by dishing the ball, playing defense, and getting rebounds. And, you could say, oh, he only scored 3 or 4 points. He had a bad game. Well, that's just not the case. And there's certain games he's scored however many points and whatever else. But I agree. I think when you cheer somebody on, and as long as you don't get jealous, as you would say, and buy in, man, you can do some really good things. And it seems like the win column keeps going up when you do it that way.
Jared, we've got less than a minute left, but talk a little bit, if you can, about your assistant coaches. I think you're blessed with some really good guys there that know the game well and complement what you and the kids do on a regular basis.
Absolutely. I think you're only as good as your weakest link, and that obviously starts with your coaches. Colin Jones has been with me ever since we started this thing. Then I got my brother, Jacob Nave, and I actually got a new assistant coach. He played at Eagleville. Jordan Davenport has some ties to Woodbury. But they just do such an unbelievable job, especially in practice and even in games. There's just no way I can see everything. And I even give free rein, in a huddle. If they've got a play or they see something, I'm good for them to draw it up. I don't have to be the one. There's no reason. I don't need the credit. It goes to everybody. The players are playing, the assistant coaches are there, and I just don't think people realize the impact that great assistant coaches have. And like you said, Murphy, I'm blessed to have some really good ones.
Jared Nave, we appreciate you visiting with us. Best of luck to you and the Lions in this stretch run for a district regular season championship.
I appreciate you, gentlemen, as always.
All right, we've been visiting with Jared Nave, and we'll take a look at the upcoming games from around the area from the 5 schools we cover when we return to the Box Score, sponsored by Carthage Safeway.
Why do our customers choose Homeland Community Bank? Because we're committed to providing top-quality financial services while focusing on those personal banking relationships that treat you like the friends and neighbors that you are. From checking and savings to loans of all types, including those focused on business, Homeland Community Bank is truly ready to meet your needs. Contact us today to make the switch to better banking. Homeland Community Bank. Banking by the people, for the people. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old borrowed trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Regardless of where you call home, you can relax even more when you trust DTC Security to keep tabs on your home and your family's safety.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation. Play defense like a pro with DTC Security.
Don't wait until something happens. Contact DTC Security now and take the worry away at your home.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Box Score. Terry Collins along with Murphy Fair, and we're in our final segment. And Murph, it's always fun to do those interviews and get a different take on what's ahead for these coaches and what they're thinking.
Well, I always learn when I listen to the other guy. That's something my mama always taught me. You're not going to learn anything if you're doing all the talking. Right. You got to listen to somebody else. And hearing them talk about those elementary school tournaments back almost 100 years ago, it's pretty neat to listen to the tales.
Definitely is. Let's go ahead and look at our featured game, which is Livingston at DeKalb. That'll be on Tuesday night. Randy Jennings and I, weather permitting, we'll be there. Of course, hopefully they won't throw any snow. They're going to be awful cold.
Or they've had some knockdown drag-outs between those two schools. Back in the day when those and Smith County were all in the same district.
Correct.
You know, it was a war every Tuesday and Friday night.
Definitely was, and Livingston now in the same district as 7 AAA. Of course, Livingston boys and girls, they've got good squads, maybe not as dominant as they've been in the past. Upman is kind of dominating that district right now, but Upman and White County girls, I guarantee you a matchup of 2 top 10 teams in the state in 3A. When they get together, that's going to be a knockdown drag out, and I look for that to be just that. But this Livingston DeKalb, it's a long rivalry. It's a heated rivalry, but a good rivalry.
Any given night, those are the passwords or bywords for those games involving those teams. But that's the way it is throughout the Upper Cumberland, I think.
Looking at the replay dates on Friday, January the 24th at 7 o'clock, on Saturday, January the 25th, and Monday, January 27th at 1, and on Sunday, January 26th at 7.
You might want to watch some of those games 2 or 3 times. You
could. Go ahead and looking at the upcoming games. First for Cannon County, they're at Grundy County in a huge district game this Friday night, and then they go to Forest. So 2 road district games that could really help Murphy, you try to get a regular season district championship.
I think so. And that January 21st game is a rescheduling of a game that got snowed out not too long ago.
Go ahead and look at the DeKalb County games. Of course, they got the unenviable task of playing against Upman at home on Friday night, and then the Livingston game that we talked about. Upman's got 2 excellent teams again. I know Upman girls and boys are ranked at the top, depending on what poll that you are talking about, and that makes Justin Malden, our producer and director and engineer, smile really big when
You can hardly stand it when he starts talking about the Upperman bees, you know?
You would have thought he'd have graduated there for something, Murph.
Yeah, I've heard those rumors.
There you go. Let's go ahead and look at the other games. Gordonsville's got going a long road trip to Whitwell, Murph. That's about an hour and 45, 50 minutes down to Whitwell for Gordonsville. I was thinking Gordonsville went down there last year and would have them at home, but I guess that's not the case. And then they've got Clay County at home, which is a big game, especially on the boys' side, Murphy, is Gordonsville trying to rebound from that big loss at Pickett County.
Yeah, should be 4 really good ball games between those two, I think.
Go ahead and looking at the upcoming games for the Owls and Lady Owls. They only have one. Kind of a week to stew for Matt Farrell's girls team who lost, but hopefully who lost to Watertown. Hopefully they can get people back on tune. They will be playing at home against Jackson County on that Tuesday night, and then the following Friday they'll playing York at home. So that's 2 big district games, especially on the girls' side, Murphy. And a measuring stick for the boys against Jackson County, because Jackson is by far the best team in the district and ranked as high as 4 in some polls inside the district.
It's good to see Jackson County get back in the headlines that way. They've certainly had their share of great teams over the decades, and that ought to be a good one, I think, a nice measuring stick as well.
Watertown's got some upcoming games. We talked to Kevon Honeycutt earlier in the show. They go to Monterey, a team that has struggled offensively. We saw Watertown earlier in the week against Smith County struggle. But if they want to try to get up in that 3rd position and get that automatic berth into the region, then they need to go to Monterey and get a win. And then they've got Westmoreland, a team that's in their region. They've got them at home on Tuesday night. Of course, Westmoreland, a team in 6AA. So that'll be a good measuring stick for Watertown to see how they stack up with a team. And I think there's only 4 teams in that other district. Trousdale County, White House Heritage, Liberty Creek, and Westmoreland, I think, are the only 4 teams in that other region. So all 4 of those are guaranteed to go to Region 3AA tournament play, which is scheduled to be held at Monterey. Murphy, as we wind up the show, the importance of all these district games, which are coming up a lot of times back to back to back, they could determine 1, maybe 2 places in seeding if you win or lose.
Yeah, and the odd part about it, if in that first round of district games, if the number 4 seed, for example, has an incredible night and knocks off the number 1 seed, then all of a sudden, since they're automatically going to the region, then you may end up having with the best 2 teams in 2 different regions playing in the first round. So it's a pretty exciting time to go and catch these games.
Of course, 4 would play 5, 3 would play 6, 1 and 2 would get a bye. Of course, you want to finish as high as possible. Thanks so much to Justin Malden and to all our fine sponsors. For Murphy Fair, I'm Terry Collins. Good night from the Box Score.